Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Julie. If you're new here, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. Today we're going to continue on with our book, The Way of the Warrior. And as you can hear probably, I do have the AC running and I hope it's not too distracting. I wanted to put everything on hold until I found a new way to make videos, but I have no idea how long that's going to be. And so I didn't want to neglect the channel, so I'm still gonna make these videos and see how it goes. I know that if I get up early enough, I can do some videos outside in the gazebo, in the outdoor sitting area, but that's only if I get up really early. It depends on how I sleep that night. So it's just a matter of trying to find the right environment to do these videos in, because I know that hearing the AC in the background is very distracting. It's distracting for me, so I can only imagine what it's like for you. So with that all being said, we left off in our book. We're going to continue today reading about life source, but I wanted to recap something we read yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday. We read, "You will know your tribe by what they see. If they only see your appearance, they're not your people. When they see your essence, that's your tribe. The warrior cares more about essence than about their image. The way of the warrior calls out your inner strength, your inner beauty, and your inner courage." I thought that was great. So that's kind of a recap of what we read. Little bit of a recap of what we read the other day, because we read about how strength comes in numbers and rising above our pain. So today we're going to pick up on life source, and we're going to finish code 6 today. And so let's begin. Here we go. Have you ever heard someone say they really energized the room? You might think that's a metaphor, but actually it's not. It's an observation rooted in reality. We know that humans can give each other colds and flus. We know that even without human contact, we can pass to each other bacteria and viruses. Yet, most of us are unaware that we also transmit to one another what occupies our souls. Your soul is a conduit of your energy. If your soul is empty, you will consume energy from the world around you. The great danger is that you will see people as something to be consumed and discarded when they no longer energize you. Pause. That's a narcissist. Narcissists do that. The great danger is that you will see people, this is how narcissists are. They see people as something to be consumed and discarded when they no longer energize you. That's a perfect description of narcissism. When you are full of life, though, you become a conduit of life. You will become a source of what is good and beautiful and true. People will naturally draw inspiration from your life. They will see you as a source of hope. If you want to clearly see the world you have created within you, look at the world you have created around you. Oh boy. The world I've created around me? Listen, pause for just a second. I was talking to God this morning, and I told him, I'm sorry, I have to keep repeating myself. I just need to vent. I need to get this off my chest. But, and I've told you this several times before too, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. But after my brother passed, we decided to buy this travel trailer and live in it. And I mean, somebody could have said, "Hey, Julie, you want to go to the moon?" I would have been like, okay. I wasn't thinking clearly. So clearly I went along with this idea when I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't in my right mind. I was in extreme grief, shock, trauma, all of it. And talk about the life I've created around me. It's not good. I was talking to God this morning and I said, I can see the sides of the walls in my peripheral vision. So it feels like they're closing in on me every day that I'm inside here. And me and Meatball and I, my dog, We went outside today just to get out, but it's so hot. My dog started panting after like the first 2 minutes. So we came back inside. And so the life that I have created for myself within the past 3 years is not the life that I want. And I understand. I'm understanding now through life experiences that life, your happiness, it's not about material things or anything like that, but you really have to create the world around you. You can't just expect it to just happen. You can't just expect things to fall in your lap. And I mean, sometimes they do, but you have to work at it. You have to create it. You have to realize and ask yourself the questions of, what do I like? What do I enjoy? And create your life around those things. I mean, it sounds so obvious, but I apparently have been walking in the darkness for so long thinking that poof, something's going to change and all of a sudden I'm going to become happy. That's just not how it works. And this book is helping me to understand that it doesn't just happen. We have to create our happiness. We have to create the life that we want. It's not going to just be there, poof, all of a sudden. And like I said, I know that sounds so obvious. Like, she didn't know that. Well, I feel like I've been living in a blur. I feel like I've been living in a fog for the past several years, because I've just gone through one thing after another that has left me feeling so drained and so sad that I really haven't been taking care of the life around me. I haven't been putting much work into creating the life that I want because I've been so busy grieving things. So anyway, sorry about that. Unpause. You will become a source of what is good and beautiful and true. People will naturally draw inspiration from your life. They will see you as a source of hope. If you want to clearly see the world you have created within you, look at the world you have created around you. The warrior takes mastery over their energy and becomes a source of life. The warrior is a life source. If you are filled with despair, you fill the world with despair. If you are filled with bitterness, you fill the world with bitterness. If you are filled with fear, you fill the world with fear. Additionally, that's all you will ever find. No matter where you go, your world is filled with the same energy and intention that fills you. In the same way, when the warrior is filled with hope, I still have hope. I've never lost hope. I've gone low in my hope, like stores, but I've never lost it. But when the warrior is filled with hope, they fill the world with hope. When they are filled with joy, they fill the world with joy. And when they are filled with love, they fill the world with love. Every human being is both a conduit and consumer of energy. When you are fully alive and when your life is marked by love and joy, you bring energy to the world around you. When you are simply struggling with existence, you consume the energy around you. When I asked Angela from Soul Cycle, "What is your purpose?" her response was simple and beautiful: to inspire, to breathe life into people. The strength of the warrior is not only for themselves, but also for the weak. The warrior knows that they are made strong so that they might help others find their strength. Pause. That's my goal. We all have a story, we all have a journey. And I want to use the hurts and the pains that I've been through, that I've overcome with the help of God. And I want to overcome everything, and I want to then go out and help others overcome, whether it's whatever they're hurting with. But a part of me wants to be able to help people overcome their grief when a loved one or someone they know takes their life. Unfortunately, that still happens. People unfortunately decide to do that, and it's a horrible thing to have to go through, to grieve something like that. And I want to help people that are going through that, because I know what it's like. So when Angela from Soul Cycle says she wants to help inspire others and breathe life into them, that should be our goal. That should be our purpose. Everybody should say an answer like that, I think. Jesus once said, "I have come to bring you life, and life in abundance." This is our greatest strength. When we are fully alive, we have life to give to the world. When we have more life than we need, when we have life in abundance, we should not be afraid of giving our lives away. There once was a woman who touched Jesus while he was walking in the middle of the crowd. Oh, I love this part of the Bible. When he stopped and looked around and asked, "Who touched me?" His disciples were perplexed, for he was being touched by an endless number of people. But we are told that Jesus felt power leave him. This is one of the most unaddressed passages on power in the Bible. This woman was marked by a disease and was desperate to find her healing. She believed that Jesus would be the source of that healing. Unlike the rest of the crowd who touched Jesus without intention, the woman touched his garment believing that what she needed the most could be found only in him. In the simplest of terms, her faith became the conduit of God's power flowing to her. It was such a dramatic exchange of power that Jesus felt it. Who touched me is a strange question when you are being pressed against by a crowd, yet somehow she knew he was referring to her. How could she have known that he was singling her out? She wasn't the only one who touched him, but she was the only one who received his power. What if God's power is waiting for you, and all you have to do is reach out and touch him? What if all the energy you need, all the strength you need, all the power you need is within your reach? When Jesus came face to face with that restored woman, he did not reprimand her for accessing his power, but commanded her for her faith and released her to go live in a new peace and freedom she had never known. That spoke to me just now. This is the paradox that the warrior has come to know. They know that they are not the source of their own strength. The fire that burns within the warrior is an eternal fire. The warrior knows their strength because they know their weakness. It was Jesus who said, "Apart from the Father, I can do nothing." The warrior understands that there is no weakness in this. The warrior has found their strength in their weakness. Jesus spoke to Paul about this. "My power is made perfect in weakness." The way of the warrior is to know that God is our strength. Amen. The warrior boasts all the more gladly about their weaknesses so Christ's power may rest on them. The warrior knows that they were created by a God who is spirit. Though we appear as flesh and blood, every cell in our body is energy. All our energy comes from God. What we do with our energy, though, is up to us. The ultimate expression of energy is light. The way of the warrior is to choose to be a warrior of light. The warrior never forgets the source of that light. The fire that burns within the warrior is fire ignited by God. The strength of the warrior is a strength given by God. The power of the warrior is the power poured into them by God. The warrior is light because God is light. The way of the warrior is to choose the path where God himself is both light and life. The first recorded words spoken by God were, "Let there be light." Light is energy in its purest form. We even speak of motion in its ultimate expression as moving at the speed of light. We now know that the entire universe is a manifestation of energy in an endless number of forms. Imagine the strength we would find in our weakness Imagine the strength we would find if in our weakness we simply reached out, touched God, and received His strength. The ultimate expression of energy is not simply light, but life. This is the strength of the warrior, that they walk through darkness, that though they walk through darkness, they have found their strength in both light and life. The warrior stands in the darkness as a warrior of light. The way of the warrior is through the darkness, for they know that in its midst they will be the light. The warrior must find courage to face their darkness. That's what I think the phase I'm in right now. I'm facing my darkness. And I'm not done with it yet. God is still teaching me things, and that's the only way to take care of your trauma. You have to go through it. You have to face it. You can't just block it out and keep it tucked away. You have to face it. You have to go right through it, the healing process. And God makes it a lot easier to go through it. But you can't just ignore it, because it's always going to be there waiting for you. The warrior must find the courage to face their darkness. Yep. If your darkness is fear, then fear is what you must face. If your darkness is bitterness, then it's bitterness that you must confront. If your darkness is greed, then it's greed that you must conquer. If your darkness is self-doubt, then here you must find your courage. If your darkness is anger, then it is here that the battle must rage. If your darkness is despair, then you must stare it down with hope. Gosh, yes. Hope. If your darkness is hate, you must slay it with love. You cannot move to the light without facing the darkness. I was 20 years old when I encouraged to choose a verse or passage from Scripture that I would make my life verse. I was so new to the faith that the very little of the Bible was familiar to me. That very little of the Bible was familiar to me. Yet somehow I found the most obscure passage that resonated perfectly with my soul. In the midst of his turmoil and his great disappointment with God, Jeremiah stood in the middle of the fire and declared, "But if I say, I will not mention his word or speak any longer in his name, his words are like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of keeping it in. Indeed, I cannot." I'm going to read that again. In the midst of his turmoil and his great disappointment with God, Jeremiah stood in the middle of the fire and declared, "But if I say I will not mention his word or speak any longer in his name, his words are like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of keeping it in. Indeed, I cannot." Your energy will be determined by the fire that burns within you. When the fire within you burns brightly, so will your life. When your fire has been set by eternity, no moment in time can snuff it out. The warrior never forgets that they are fire. And that concludes Code 6. We're going to begin in our next video with Code 7, talking about the warrior becomes one with all things. I got to tell you folks, this book is speaking to me. And I don't want to make this about me, but I can't speak for anyone else except for myself when it comes to what this book is doing to me. But I go through these phases, and I know other people do too, because I've heard it in lyrics of Christian music, and I've heard people talk about it in other videos that I've watched. But we go through seasons. We go through different seasons in our walk with the Lord. And I am in a season right now of dry bones. I'm in this dry spell. I feel like I'm out in the wilderness, and I technically kind of am. You know, We're out here in the hot desert, and whoever decided to make a city in the desert needs to have their head examined. No, just kidding. But honestly, I don't get it. But the season that I'm in, the environment that I'm living in right now, has me so dysregulated and very uncomfortable. This is the season I'm in right now. And I'm dealing with I'm working through, let me just say that. I'm working through a lot of personal like despair, depression, things that I need to, grieve through, which there's certain things that I think that will always carry with us, because grief is also love, So I know that there's certain things that aren't going to go away. It's just a matter of living with it and learning to accept this new way of living. And I'm talking about living this life now without my brother in it. He was really all I had left in my immediate family that I had a bond with. And when he decided to give up, a part of me just shattered into a gazillion pieces. And so yeah, I'm working through that, but I'm also working through a lot of other things too. Like, even though I've been autistic my whole life, and it all makes sense once I got diagnosed with it, but it's learning who I really truly am. Because this world teaches us, the system, I guess you could say. I mean, what other reason what other reasons is there that somebody would have to feel like they have to mask their true selves? It's because this world is built for people not on the spectrum. This world is built for neurotypical minds, not neurodivergent minds. Because there's a system in place on this world, on this earth, and it's harsh. It's a harsh thing, and so I'm dealing with, working through the fact that I'm losing the ability to mask, which I also shouldn't be that upset about because I don't want to mask. I'm trying to get my cognitive abilities back up and running. I'm trying to get my executive functioning back to where it used to be. It's just a matter of getting through this season. It's a matter of working through this season, and it's not just about getting through a season. You're in a season for a reason. Hey, that rhymed. But you're in the season for a reason, and you must learn from that season and take what you've learned with you as you go into your next season of life. So, for instance, when we move out of this trailer and we're back into a house and we're living normally again, I'm never going to forget this experience of living in a travel trailer. It has humbled me. It has taught me so much about the simplicities of life, and to not take anything for granted. Any little luxury that we are given from God, whether it's running water, electricity, air conditioning, heat, all of that. I'm never going to take any of that for granted ever again. This season that I'm in, that I hope is coming to an end because it's just very uncomfortable, it's taught me a lot. And so is this book. This book is teaching me a lot, and it's getting me to think, and it's making me really want to be a warrior. It's teaching me what a warrior really is. And the way of the warrior is serving others. And we should all have that mind frame. of wanting to just serve others other than ourselves. So I think with God putting me through this dry season in this travel trailer the past few years, he's teaching me to look beyond myself. He's teaching me that when you're left with barely anything, it humbles you. And it teaches you to really look at what's most important in life. And what's most important in life is love, but it's also serving others. And not thinking about ourselves, not thinking about material things, not thinking about, the entertainment of this world. It's about seeking God first. And everything else will fall into place. Because when we're so busy and distracted by life and by this worldly stuff, we're not seeking God first. No, I wasn't. But now that we're in this tiny little box on wheels for this moment, it's really taught me how to really focus on God. So as much as I complain about this travel trailer, there is good that's come out of it. I'm a changed person. I will say that. I'm a changed person. I had to be in the wilderness grieving my brother in order to learn a lot of things that I needed to know. So, ask yourself how this book is speaking to you. Really reflect on your life and do it with God. Talk to Jesus. So, anyway, that is our video for today. I kind of went over. We're at 26 minutes, almost 27 minutes. So, sorry I kind of went on and on about things other than the book. But I just wanted to talk to you all and just give you a little bit of what was going on up in my mind. So, until the next video, stay grateful. And I still haven't found a witty ending to my videos, a witty saying, a little rhyme, a little jingle. I haven't thought of anything yet, but maybe it'll come, who knows. But anyway, until then, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.